we are at the end of week 14, so this is update 13. I feel like I've made some bigger changes since last week, and I'm excited to show you all of those if you haven't been keeping up with the daily videos. I don't have a lot to add to the intro, so let's go ahead and look at these 7 new sets I added this week. Alright, here you can see everything from a distance. You can probably see some changes from here since last week because I think it's a pretty big difference, especially right here in the front. So I have moved Paradisus so that it's kind of overlapping between these two tables. I did switch these sets around, so now the island is in between these two kind of wave looking base plates, which I think is kind of fun. Sorry, those are off the edge just a little bit. I'll move them back. Forgot to straighten it after I moved those, but that is what has changed here. I know there is a gap there in the middle, but once there's base plates there, you won't be able to tell. But that just makes it so that I can evenly put 3 base plates in a row, 3 32 by 32 base plates, and there's enough space for them where they're not coming off the edge either on this side or the other side where I have to walk, so I won't be prone to bumping them off. If they come off the edge here in the center, it doesn't really make a difference, which is good. So let's go ahead. I think that's pretty much the main change from last time. We'll go ahead now and look at each individual set. So for Classic Town, we had a pretty big one, the space shuttle here. I know there's a little bit of a ledge there, and I will be fixing that. I think if I just prop the table up on this end up by just, like basically sticking a few sheets of paper under it, it's gonna come out even then. It's too bad that tables aren't all the same height, but I will be fixing that, so don't worry about it. It's not going to stay that way. But that was the Classic Town set I added this week. For space, it's on the other side, so I'll go back around for that one. Let's come down to Castle, actually, since we're on this side. I added a little boat here in the water. So this is Battle Dragon. I mentioned it in the daily video. I would like to eventually probably have it with my other Black Falcon sets that are at this end. So whether I rearrange, whether I add a blue base plate somewhere else to add some more water sets, we'll see. I think I have a few different castle sets that come on boats that I'll still need to add. So I'll probably add, more blue base plates somewhere else, but we'll just have to wait and see as the year goes. Adventurers, I was really excited about this week's Adventurer set. I just parted this set together. It's a pretty rare set, and that is Adventurer's Tomb, also known as the Lost Tomb. Let me move this tray just a little bit more. I love that little vehicle it comes with. The minifigures are great, the printed parts. I am obsessed with this set. I would have loved it so much as a kid. I especially love the mummy minifigure. That was one of the last things I had to get, as well as the sarcophagus. It was a great piece at the time. In Divers, it's right over here. Kind of hard to see, but this little rock formation with the sawfish and then this life raft sort of piece, that is Sea Hunter. That's what I added to the diver section. I do desperately need to make more space and add more tan base plates. I just need so many base plates right now, and that cost adds up pretty quickly, so I'm trying to figure out which ones to order first, and I'm trying to spend as little money as possible creating this whole display because I didn't want to buy too many sets or buy too much accessory stuff. I wanted it to be mostly stuff that I already owned, so I'm trying to do it as cheaply as possible. Let's come down to Pirates. We have Renegade's Raft here in the front, which is this little tiny raft with a shark. So just a little set there, but I think you can't have too many boats, and obviously I feel that way because there are so many of them. Every pirate set has to come with a boat, big or small. It's just mandatory. And I'm happy with the way it's turning out. So finally, we have the space set I added this week, which was Starhawk 2, which is a Unitron set, and my very first Unitron set. And I just added it to this extra Moon Crater base plate that I had. It's not in the best shape. I actually replaced it from the one that I had on the Polaris 1 Space Lab. But then I decided, well, even though it's not in great shape, I can still use it. So very nicely holding up my Space Hawk 2 now. Man, I just realized I forgot a set because it's kind of hard to see it, but the set I chose for my own pick this week was a set of road signs. So here are some of them. I don't know, I think there were around a dozen or so signs that came in this set. And so I've started adding them, and I'm gonna move them around. I'm gonna add them, you know, take them away, whatever it may be. There's a stop sign there. Don't enter sign. They may not make sense. I'm not saying they're gonna actually mean anything based on where I put them. They're pretty signs, so I'll probably just throw them in somewhere, even if they don't make sense for the area they're in, because I mean, they're just gorgeous. The fact that these came out in 1980 and they look brand new is just so impressive to me. So that is the 7 sets I added this week, and I'll go ahead and turn on the monorails and the train and take one more lap around. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.